After a long voyage, Tiger finally brings Koala back to her hometown. As the young girl bids her pirate companions farewell, Tiger has hope that the future may bring peace between humans and fishmen. Unfortunately, Tiger's past soon catches up with him, and he leaves his crew with a sobering final command.
On the next One Piece, the death of the hero, a shocking truth of Tiger. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Fisher Tiger's death comes as a great shock to all. In the aftermath of his demise, fishmen are left wondering if they can truly coexist with humans. While Jimbe vows to uphold Tiger and Otohime's ideals, Arlong's resentment grows. It's only a matter of time before the Sun Pirates face a crisis of identity.
On the next One Piece, the Sun Pirates split. Jimbe versus Arlong. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Jimbe accepts a position as a warlord of the sea, granting freedom to the fishmen who fought beside him. Returning home at long last, they look forward to an era of peace led by Queen Otohime. However, the appearance of a celestial dragon places the future of their island in jeopardy.
On the next One Piece, Shaking Fishman Island, a celestial dragon drifts in. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Otohime returns from the world above with a ray of hope for Fishman Island. Her once impossible dream now becomes the dream of her people, as one islander after another pledges support to her cause. But just when the path to the future seems to have opened, a shot echoes through the plaza, changing the course of history forever.
On the next One Piece, a sudden tragedy. A gunshot shuts down the future. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
After Otohime's death, Fishman Island is plunged into uncertainty yet again. As hope turns to resentment, the seeds of Hordy's rebellion are planted. And yet, Fukaboshi refuses to give up. After completing his tale, Jimbe begs for forgiveness. Nami's response surprises him and her crew alike.
On the next One Piece, back to the present, Hordy makes a move. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Broadcasting across all of Fishman Island, Hordy makes his plans for conquest clear. The people watch in horror as he prepares for Neptune's execution. Those who would oppose him are scattered across the island, with his straw hats in disarray. Luffy is ready to fight, but Jimbe has something else in mind.
On the next One Piece, the kingdom in shock. An order to execute Neptune issued. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Fearing that the Straw Hats' interference may do more harm than good, a battle of wills breaks out between Luffy and Jimbe. While the two friends go head-to-head, Hordy's underlings wreak havoc in the city. Still captured at Ryugu Palace, the rest of the Straw Hats launch a very peculiar escape plan.
On the next One Piece, a rift opens up. Luffy versus Jimbe. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Neptune's execution draws nigh, but Luffy and Jimbe have yet to settle their differences. As the new Fishman pirates spread across the island, it seems that they have won the battle without a hint of resistance. But Hordy himself is experiencing a strange side effect of the energy steroids, as his body undergoes a horrifying transformation.
On the next One Piece, something has happened to Hordy, the true power of the evil drug. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Neptune's army is crushed by the overwhelming might of the newly transformed Hordy. The people's last hope lies in the three princes of the Ryugu Kingdom. Rushing to the scene, they quickly battle Hordy's sea monsters, but his crewmates have a dirty trick up their sleeves that could turn the tables once again.
On the next One Piece, the battle is on at Conchcord Plaza. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Shiraoshi and Jimbe hurry to Conchcord Plaza to free King Neptune, but their rescue plan is cut short by a trap. With the royal family now captured, Hordy reveals a shocking truth about the history of his revolution. While the island is seized with despair, Vanderdecken does something rash.
On the next One Piece, a surprising confession. The truth behind the assassination of Otohime. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Even in the face of Hordy's cruelty, Shiraoshi holds true to her mother's dying wish. The burden she carried for 10 years is finally brought to light, as the Ryugu kingdom lies on the brink of destruction. The people of Fishman Island, recalling Madame Charlie's prophecy, call out to a man who may bring ruin and rebirth alike.
On the next One Piece, Shirahoshi's Tears, Luffy finally shows up. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
After a tricky escape from the Ryugu Palace, the Straw Hats have reassembled at last. As they march into Conchcord Plaza, an army of new Fishman pirates stands before them. The final battle of the fate of Fishman Island begins with a show of strength between the two would-be kings.
On the next One Piece, a big clash. The Straw Hats versus 100,000 enemies. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Despite Luffy's display of hockey, the sheer number of Hordy's forces proves overwhelming. As the new Fishman pirates close in on Shirahoshi, Zoro and Sanji launch an assault. With the last 2 years still fresh in their minds, the Straw Hats' training is put to the test as they unleash a flurry of fearsome new techniques.
On the next One Piece, deadly attacks one after another. Zoro and Sanji join the battle. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Brook and Robin tear through the battlefield with their new skills, forcing the new Fishman pirates to counterattack with their deadly Venom Squad. Not to be outdone, Franky shows off a new weapon of monumental proportions. His crewmates are dazzled, but Hordy may have something even more impressive in store.
On the next One Piece, unveiled, the secret weapons of the Sunny. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Franky's weapons find a surprising foe in Hordy's tiniest follower, Daruma. Setting a trap for the rampaging Straw Hats, the new Fishman pirates take command of the battlefield. However, Chopper and Franky's mechanical masterpiece both have transformations in store that can only be described as super.
On the next One Piece, Iron Pirate, here comes General Franky. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
As the battle between Luffy and Hordy rages on, a foreboding shadow is cast upon Conchcord Plaza. The citizens stare on in terror as the great ship Noah hurtles towards the island. Shirahoshi stands in its way to protect her people, but even the massive mermaid is dwarfed by the size of the giant vessel.
On the next One Piece, the Noah closing in, the Fishman Island facing destruction. I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Shirahoshi flees into the open sea, hoping to draw the Noah away from Fishman Island. With a little help from his friends, Luffy chases after her but is halted by Hordy, who easily bests the land-dwelling pirate underwater. Then suddenly, an act of savagery from the ferocious fishman throws the conflict into utter chaos.
On the next One Piece, hurry up, Luffy! Shirahoshi's life in jeopardy! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Hordy's unexpected assault on Deccan threatens to destroy all of Fishman Island. Yet, even as impending doom looms in the sky above them, the Straw Hats continue their struggle at the bottom of the sea. The appearance of a new ally gives Luffy a chance to protect Shirahoshi, but it will take much more than that to save the rest of the island.
On the next One Piece, the fierce fight begins. Luffy versus Hordy. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
The Straw Hat Pirates go head-to-head with the powerful officers from Hordy's crew. Thanks to their 2 years of training, they hold their own with a flurry of new fighting techniques. However, their struggle will all be for naught if Luffy cannot find a way to overcome Hordy and stop the Noah from crushing Fishman Island.
On the next One Piece, a massive, confused fight. The Straw Hats versus the new Fishman Pirates. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Luffy tries to lure Hordy to the deck of the Noah, but his plan is thwarted when the Fishman destroys the bubble-maintaining oxygen on the ship. Fukaboshi faces off with Hordy himself, but cannot match the strength of his foe. As Hordy reaches a new level of strength, Luffy must place his faith in a life-or-death gamble.
On the next One Piece, Luffy loses the fight. Hordy's long-awaited revenge. I'm gonna be king of the pirates! Subscribe, you guys! Join our crew on the One Piece YouTube channel!